The PlayStation 3 turned 16 years old this year, and many people still ask, is the PlayStation 3 still useful?
Conditions in anticipation of tomorrow's PlayStation 3 launch. It marks a new era in gaming with lifelike graphics and motion sensing controls.
The PlayStation 3 released November 17, 2006. The PS3 was following the PlayStation 2, the most successful video game console of all time, so many people had high hopes for it. But at the time, the PlayStation 3 was very sought after due to its high price. Its competitor, Xbox 360, was almost half the price and came out a year before PS3, and had much better games at the time. It took Sony a few years to get back on their feet. They would lower the price of the PS3 and release a slimmer version in 2009. But Microsoft had a major problem with the 360 around 2008. Many gamers' 360s would red ring, causing it to be useless.
What? What? What the f***? What the son of What the Oh my god!
Microsoft would send out replacement consoles to gamers who were affected by the red ring of death, but eventually they would red ring too. Many 360 fans switched over to PlayStation and would never go back. Now, if you're looking to buy a PS3 in 2022, you'll find one good condition on eBay or at a local pawn shop, anywhere between $70 to $150. They can come with games, cords, or controllers, or you can just get the console itself. Normally that is cheaper. Controllers are quite an easy thing to find, but now you gotta be careful with buying one, because there are lots of fake ones out there that look very real. And yeah, sure, they will work, they do play games, and sometimes they are cheaper, but they're very fragile and tend not to last very long and also feel very cheap. When buying a controller, you gotta make sure it is an OEM, original equipment manufacturer. Controllers tend to cost anywhere between $20 to $30. When buying a controller for the PS3, I recommend getting a DualShock 3 compared to the 6-axis. The 6-axis was the controller the PS3 originally shipped with for a few years, but the 6-axis is a little bit of a cheaper controller and doesn't support rumble. Now, if you don't really care about rumble, then you can go either way, but I recommend a DualShock 3. The PS3 can play movies on Netflix and play videos on YouTube, but we don't know how long this will be. Hulu already cut ties with PS3 back in October, and I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix does the same thing next year, or possibly YouTube even sooner. So I really don't recommend using the PS3 for movies and shows, judging by how there's a PS4 and 5 and other consoles out there that can play movies in 4K or even better. Now, the thing you're probably going to be doing most on the PS3 is playing games. Most PS3 games can be played on PS4 and 5, and even some games got remade. Games like The Last of Us and GTA 5. Now, notice how I said most. There are many titles that are only on PlayStation 3, games like Infamous, Little Big Planet 1 and 2, Resistance, and many more. One of the biggest selling points of the PS3 was the free online play. You can still play many online games on PS3 for free, but game companies are starting to pull the trigger on online play. We saw last year in December, Rockstar shut down service for PS3 and Xbox 360 on GTA 5 Online. You can still play the story mode of the game, but not online, and it won't be long until most companies shut down online play. Now I put together a list of the pros and cons of owning a PS3. The pros are, the console is cheap and so are the games, and if you're like me, you grew up playing a PS3 and it can be a very nostalgic console, and probably one of the biggest ones is that it has free online play. The cons are that most games aren't being supported anymore, maintaining the console is very common, but it depends on what type you have. If you have an older fat PS3, it may yellow light. You can fix it, but it is very difficult and normally it's not permanent. And probably the biggest one is that the technology is very obsolete, meaning that some games will freeze, it's pretty slow, and you can upgrade the hard drive to a much faster SSD. That's pretty much the only major upgrade you can do to make your PS3 perform better. So in conclusion, I recommend owning a PlayStation 3 in 2022, mainly because it has lots of fun games and is a very nostalgic console if you had one growing up. Thank you for watching, please subscribe to my channel, and I wish you all the best.